HBO's streak of great content continues with The White Lotus, and the show's truly deserving of all the praise as its unique blend of characters and story can surely get you hooked. With such thrilling drama on screen, there's bound to be some exciting times behind the camera too. In this video, we'll talk about Haley Lou Richardson's embarrassing moment on set. We'll also get into all the other behind-the-scenes secrets we found out. Stick around. First up, Richardson's almost embarrassing film incident with Coolidge. Haley Lou Richardson stars as Portia in the second season of The White Lotus. She's an angsty assistant to the marvelously loaded Tanya McCoy, played by the brilliant Jennifer Coolidge. Richardson revealed a potentially embarrassing film moment with her on-screen boss on the Jennifer Hudson show. She began by giving us a little bit of context about Coolidge.
She's the most unique person I've ever met. Is she? Kind of everything that you would want her to be. She is.
Haley said that there are so many shots in progress at the same time during filming, and sometimes the camera's on her shoulders so Coolidge's character can be properly captured. This means she's got to be totally still so the camera can do their job well. And so while filming, Jennifer really gets into it. She's super chaotic, which is fantastic because it's what makes her character truly come to life, and Haley said that she tried to be very serious during the filming, but Coolidge's performance was so amazing that she'd sometimes make her laugh. Richardson peed herself a couple of times while trying to keep still and not laugh. This was greeted with a whole lot of laughter from the audience, but the star went on to explain that it was all true. She even had to go to the bathroom later and found like a tablespoon of pee. Yikes.
I peed myself a couple times. I literally like a tablespoon of pee. Yeah, like I had to go to the bathroom after it.
That could have been a potential disaster, it seemed. Next up, let's go behind the scenes of The White Lotus. Apparently, plenty of interesting moments happened during the filming of the series, but they were all behind the camera. The show's really leaving a mark in the world of entertainment TV, so it kinda makes sense that we'd want to know all about the drama that never made it to our screens. The show's making seems super interesting, as it happens that the cast lived in a fancy hotel for 5 months to film, so let's get into some of the stuff that went on. Starting with Theo James's prosthetic accessory. Yep, we're talking about what you think we're talking about. We all saw it. In the opening episode, Theo showcased full frontal nudity while changing in front of Aubrey Plaza's character. The shot left very little to the imagination for sure, and it had us all wondering. James discussed the scene on Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show. He clarified that a prosthetic indeed was used for that scene, and that answered a lot of questions. Theo went on to explain that he'd had a conversation with the director and the producers. They'd said that a prosthetic would be used. He also recalled this talk with the makeup department's Rebecca Hickey, who'd also shared that they just make it a regular specimen because the focus was on the power play happening in the plot. The purpose of the shot would be to raise the question of whether it happened accidentally or if it was something that Theo's character did intentionally, and so a regular Joe was expected. But on the set, James found the whole thing vastly different from what he'd imagined. His own word for it was ginormous, and that's pretty accurate it seems. Further up, Aubrey Plaza really went to town while pranking her co-stars. The show's filming had the whole cast living in the Four Seasons San Domenico Palace in Sicily. It sounds like a dream, to be honest, but some people think Aubrey Plaza found it a tad bit boring, and this is what led to a series of elaborate pranks on the rest of the cast. The star shared the details of her pranking adventures in GQ's profile. After staying at the hotel for only a month, Aubrey created a Blair Witch-style symbol in her fellow cast member Adam DeMarco's dressing room. It was entirely made up of the reed diffusers present in the hallway. Then, so others wouldn't suspect her, she created the same thing in her dressing room. She arranged the whole thing in such a way that she pretended to be totally shocked in front of Megan Fahey and Haley Lou Richardson. Following this, she also began to write ominous messages on paper that she'd slip under people's doors. In the process, Plaza totally got to DeMarco. It seems he shared that the prank really had him questioning his reality for a while. Plaza knew how it affected DeMarco too. She remembered that he was really innocent, like a little baby bird, so what she was doing to him was pretty sick. She said that he was nearly driven to a psychological break. Yikes. The staff, however, were on to her because of the security footage. They knew all along. Moving on, the hotel added an entirely new element to the filming experience. The first few months of filming were pretty uneventful at the hotel from February to March. It was off-season. However, the hotel staff began preparing for the arrival of guests in April, and that's when things got a little meta. It made for a unique unique experience for the cast and crew. Megan Fahey talked about it all to Ellen. She said that they all had the chance to see the employees get ready for the hotel customers. The activity revolved around carpet shampooing, wall painting, and the arrival of tons of flowers, among other things. Fahey said it was kind of bizarre to see all the people coming in and stay there because in a way the team was now observing the people that they were playing. Found it all to be very interesting. Up next, Portia's costume design was totally intentional. Even though all the other guests at the White Lotus wore Gucci to breakfast and looked pristine, Portia's wardrobe was purposefully chaotic. The costume designer, Alex Bouvard, also spoke to Variety about it. The designer said that Portia's still young and sorta experimenting with her own style. Also because of the demographic of the character, expensive pieces were avoided. Sometimes she's classy, other times she dresses like a boy. The cost for all costumes was kept within a bracket of between $100 to $200 or cheaper. A lot of thrift stores and vintage finds were utilized. Also, the character's getup had significance for who she was on the show too. She wore some really popular brands on social media like House of Sunny, so when Portia said that she didn't really care for social media or her phone, she didn't really mean that. The style's actually a statement by the designer that contributes to her representation in the show. What's more, Portia's wardrobe contains some stuff by Haley Lou Richardson too. Portia's into crochet, which worked out because Haley loves it too. Richardson was actually able to add to Portia's crochet collection. She told Vulture that she really made the bucket hat worn by Portia in episode 4. Haley's been crocheting since she was only 6. She also said that if it makes sense, she likes styling her characters when she can. Now the actors had a chance to dig a bit deeper because the show was heavily improvised. Mark White, the creator, was super encouraging when it came to improvisation. Richardson shared with Vulture that Mike would really appreciate it when a shot was so well done that it seemed like a documentary. DeMarco joked that he even asked White if he really wanted to have the feel of a documentary. Richardson noted that Mike's a super observant guy and that not much escapes him. She shared that he'd take notice of things even she hadn't noticed she was doing. White wanted everyone to contribute their own energy to the characters. Next up, the filming got a little too fun at times. The White Lotus team seemed to have fun that went far beyond just pranks. A source who claimed to be good friends with a makeup artist of the show sent in some tips to Des Moines, the famous Insta-gossip site, and the details are juicy. According to the source, certain engagements occurred between a couple staying at the hotel and a show's production team member. It was also alleged that an actor actually moved into an Airbnb in March after being bothered by noises they found really disrupting. However, Theo James remained clear, as the source said he was one of the few actors who remained faithful to their wife. Finishing up with the fact that many of the cast members actually hooked up, another source got in touch with Des Moines and reported that Megan Fahey and Leo Woodall had a romance behind the scenes. The two were actually single during filming, contrary to earlier reports. According to the source, Adam DeMarco also had it going on too. The source linked him romantically to Simona Tabasco and Richardson. Well, this show just keeps on giving in the entertainment department, and we're glad about it. That's all for today from our side. Do you think you would have fallen for Aubrey Plaza's pranks? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye for now. See you in the next one, and thanks for watching.